Past continuous tense is a verb tense that describes ongoing actions that started and ended in the past. The past continuous tense is formed very similar with the present continuous tense. Just a little reminder, we form the present continuous tense subject plus the verb to be plus present participle, or this means ing form of the verb. Past continuous tense, we have subject plus, and here is the only difference, the verb to be for the past continuous has to be conjugated in the past tense. So the verb to be, also a reminder, if in the present simple tense is I am, you are, for he, she, it, is, and for plural, for we, you, they, are. Am, are, is. These are the forms of the verb to be in present tense. In the past tense, I was, you were, he, she, it was, and for plural, were. So here we only have two forms, was and were. So I say subject plus was or were plus the present participle or ing verb. I will write a few examples and it will get more clear. Example, we follow the formula subject I, the verb to be, am, and an ing verb, I am reading a book. Okay, let's make the same sentence in the past continuous. So subject I, past tense of the verb to be, was, and then ing verb reading a book when you called, for example. Okay, if you've past present continuous, the past continuous is easy. We will move on to the uses and examples. One of the most common uses of the past continuous tense shows a past action that was interrupted by another past action. You can think of it this way. This is the timeline. This is the past. This is the present. And actually the future goes on. So we use the past continuous tense if we want to talk about an action that started in the past, it was going on, and then another action happens and interrupts the first one. The first action could continue still in the past, but it will end at some point in the past. Okay, let's see an example. Just taking the example I mentioned before, I was reading sentence. We see I was reading a book. So something started, I was reading a book, and this lasted, and then you called me. So this action is interrupted. After the call finished, I continued reading my book, but at some point I stopped. These are often complex sentences featuring subordinate conjunctions like when, while, before, after, until, or whenever. For example, we waited until she was feeling better, or while she was cooking dinner, the phone rang. The next one, expressing an action that was ongoing at a specific time. For this one, I will again draw a little timeline. Past, present, and the future. So when you mention a specific time in the past, let's say that's over here, and this is May. Use the past continuous tense if the action started before that time. So the action, this is May, and the action started before that time and it lasted longer. It ended somewhere here. If the action begins at the time mentioned, so the action that you're talking about, if it begins here, then you can just use the simple past tense instead. Let's explain it better through an example. Past continuous tense, I was working as a cashier last May. Past simple sentence, I traveled to Italy in May. Going further, another common use about the past continuous tense is when we talk about two actions happening at the same time. I was cooking while he was watching TV, and I was texting my friend while I was waiting for the bus. We see that both sentences, I was cooking, he was watching, I was texting, was waiting. Both sentences are expressed in past continuous. Number 4, expressing an action that was habitual. Use the past continuous tense to talk about an action that used to be done frequently in the past, so it was a habit kind of, but it is not done in the present. This form is usually used with adverbs and adverb phrases, specifically ones that suggest that the action was done a lot. For example, all the time, always, constantly, rarely, sometimes, occasionally, and so on. Let's write down some examples. As a baby, my brother was always making a mess. She was trying to impress her crush all the time. Number 5, emphasizing how long a past action took. If you remember, this is also typical for continuous tenses, that they put the emphasis on the duration of an action. So use the past continuous tense to emphasize how long an action took, or how much time was spent doing it. This form usually uses adverb phrases that explain the length of time. For example, all morning, all evening, all day, all week or month, also for hours, for weeks, and so on. For example, she was trying to complete the final level for hours. Or, the players were training all year for this match. And the last one is background information in stories, or establishing context for another past event. When telling a story or writing, you can use the past continuous tense to set the scene or describe exactly what was happening at the beginning of your story. Some examples. The birds were singing and the sun was shining. I knew it would be a great day. I challenge you to write a sentence in the comments as a background information from a story, or any of these 6 uses of the past continuous tense. And next, I want to mention some common mistakes to avoid with past continuous tense. The first one to mention is using stative verbs in the past continuous. Namely, we only use dynamic verbs which describe actions. Stative verbs describe state of being, or feelings that can be directly observed or measured in terms of progress or duration. And remember, the continuous tense puts the emphasis on the duration of an action. So many stative verbs describe states of mind, such as opinions, needs, feelings, awarenesses. Some examples of these stative verbs are believe, love, hate, know, and so on. The next one, I don't know why I put it twice, but using the past continuous when the simple past is called for. Sometimes we complicate things unnecessarily. For example, this sentence, the clock was saying it was midnight, where you can clearly say the clock said it was midnight, just using the simple past tense. Lastly, pay attention to use the correct form of the verb to be, or to conjugate the verb to be correctly based on the personal pronouns you're using. Are you talking about singular or plural? And always in the past tense. And we've come to the end of this mini lesson. Here's an exercise you can do. Pause this video, and after 10 seconds you get the answer key. Let me know in the comments if you found this useful, and subscribe for more.